What's up, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Hot Mic here on the Outlaw Nation channel. I am the Outlaw John Rocha. Well, I'm just John Rocha nowadays, joined as always by the Sneider himself, Jeff Sneider. How are ya?
Hello, Johnny boy! Is that our first official one of 2025? Or
didn't we do one last week? Oh, no, wait. No, there's much more.
Maybe the week before. I forget. Wait, what happened? You dropped the Outlaw?
Yeah, we're moving on. You know, we got to move on. It's the John Rocha situation.
New branding for 2025, huh?
It's been 7 years since I played a Schmoedown match, hasn't it? Been 5 years, something like that. So, you know, we got to move on.
Like yesterday. I like to relive my glory years. Sometimes when I'm in the middle of pleasuring myself, John, I'll throw on a link to one of our old matches just to enhance it, you know?
Not the celebrity one, I imagine. Just the other ones that actually count.
I'm clinging to the celebrity match, guys. Oh, it's sweet. Anyways, thank you, everyone, for joining us. We hope that you are safe out there.
Yeah. Especially those of you who are dealing with the fires in LA, different sections of LA. Obviously, it is not over. It's been contained, it seems like, for the most part. But certainly the winds and what have you and other areas are being affected now. Newer areas are being affected. So just make sure you're safe, stay safe, whatever you need to do. Don't be a hero. Don't be foolish. We're all thinking of you. And I thought that Rams game, there was a really beautiful tribute there to everybody during the Rams game there in Arizona at the playoffs on Monday night. So hopefully the tide is turning here and people are understanding how many lives have been affected by this. And there's much more sympathy and empathy coming out from all corners of the world, and especially social media, for God's sakes. But yeah, we got so much to get into, Jeff. We got a lot to talk about here. A new Justin Baldoni lawsuit here that is massive and ensnaring even the goddess of pop, Taylor Swift. We got so much to get into here with some Ridley Scott stuff, some new trailers. You wrote a really interesting piece about Apple, speaking of the fires and how they're dealing with this and a couple of projects that might be affected by it. We're also going to talk about the Oscars. Should the Oscars be a night of charity? Should it not? What about these PGA ASC awards? So much to get into here on the channel, on the show today for sure. Remember, Streamlabs and Superchats are open right above Jeff's head. It's also pinned in the chat, in the description of this video. Send in your love, send in your support here on this Thursday evening, at least on the West Coast. All right, Jeff, let's get into it. Let's get through it right off the bat here. Let's jump into this Justin Baldoni lawsuit. So this was filed today by his lawyer, Brian Friedman here. This is a $400 million lawsuit from Justin Baldoni. He is suing Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and the actress's publicist, Leslie Sloan, over what they all consider to be, on his side of things, a campaign here to destroy him and destroy his reputation, amongst some of the new things, and to steal, it ends with us, from him. And some of the new accusations here are that Lively never read the book, had to Google the hair color of her character, that she will not meet with the film's domestic violence partner organization, that they pressured him into accepting one of Lively's rewrites for the film, that's Baldoni, and that he was summoned to a meeting over that rooftop scene to confront both Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift, with Taylor Swift giving her opinion on the new scene here. He also alleges that she commented and made comments about his nose and that he needed to get a nose job, which was apparently sensitive to him, and that they demanded that he make an apology for mistakes without specifying what mistakes they were during the premiere in order to have this whole thing blow over. There are a couple of more accusations, but the general gist of it here. But Jeff, $400 million right after what, the $250 million? This is now getting insane. And you're bringing in Taylor Swift now? This is madness, dude.
I honestly had not even seen the Taylor Swift stuff until just now. I had no idea about any of that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, let me add to that real quick. She called herself Khaleesi, Blake Lively did, and described Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift as her two dragons. This is in text messages to Baldoni. So anyway, go ahead.
That's amazing. I believe it. I mean, listen, I've said kind of all along that that's what I think happened here, is two really powerful people hijacking a movie that wasn't theirs and threatening to bring about sexual harassment lawsuits if they didn't get their way. That's what I had heard since August. It's pretty ugly though, and I just can't believe it's gone this level. It's hilarious to me, by the way, when everyone because you guys know that how often do I say this is a mess, that's a mess, everything is a mess until it's not, right?
Yeah.
This is what it's like behind the scenes on most movies, I would say. I mean, yeah, this is an unusual case, and the fact that it's spilled out over, into public, is bad and rare. But every movie is a director who's supposed to have control, who's battling with the star, whether that's a guy or a girl, and using everything to get their way. Because at the end of the day, okay, how many times have we seen mudslinging and lawsuits and stuff? Years from now, you're going to get a statement from Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively being everything's hunky-dory and we're moving on for the sequel. That's what's
yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I actually believe that, but I'm just saying that's how it usually happens in this town. This is particularly ugly, though. But it only makes the two of them look worse. And you know who else it makes look terrible? Who?
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah. And who has the most to lose out of all of these people?
Yes, Ryan Reynolds. Yes.
If I'm Ryan Reynolds, I want this to go away quickly and quietly. Yeah. And I can't believe this is what's happening. Brian Friedman, who I've had the good fortune to tussle with, is a legal psycho. He's I wouldn't want to get on that guy's bad side.
Yeah, exactly.
He is throwing it all out there. And I did get on his bad side once, but he is the legal pugilist, and he's coming out swinging.
Yeah. I mean, this is very extensive. It's a 179-page lawsuit just for this particular one. Not all of them combined, just for this particular $400 million one. And there are text messages, there are full-on exchanges that are quoted here. This is just a sample. This is they want to reveal all the text messages, all the exchanges. And I think when you bring in Taylor Swift, now we're going the next level. Now we're going mega, right? The fact that Taylor Swift was even involved, the fact that that woman took time to go to Blake Lively's house in order to possibly somewhat intimidate Justin Baldoni into accepting a rewrite about a rooftop scene.
Wait, here's who's to say, John, that's why Taylor Swift went over to her house to do that.
That's fair. We don't know.
Taylor Swift went over to hang out with Blake Lively, and Blake Lively's like, I'm going to use you to do my bidding because you're going to,
yeah.
You see what I'm saying here? There's so many ways of looking at it. You can look at it like Justin Baldoni kept bursting into her trailer door, or you can look at it like she invited him on in and then positioned herself in an awkward manner so that when he walked in, she'd have leverage over him.
Right. Yeah, it's a great point. You don't. That's because you're getting a he said, she said situation here, and I think from all these text messages coming out, it's amazing how the din of this is sexual assault, all of that has really died down the volume because people are now seeing these text messages and having second thoughts against their own initial reactions because they're actually getting the information and the exchanges that were going on. And throughout these text messages, nothing about them screams Blake Lively is some kind of wallflower who is afraid to upset the director. There's none of that coming through in the text messages. So it's very clear that she's quite a powerful person, has no problem saying that she's a powerful person, and calling your two friends dragons, for God's sakes. Come on.
What did we say all along, dude? This has nothing to do with sexual harassment. And it's kind of shameful that she went that route, I think, because this is totally about money and rights and control, creative control.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you guys.
I think so too.
Misogynist.
I'm with you, man. Normally, me. Normally, I will side with the woman and be like, let's look at this. Let's take a look. No, but it's very clear that this is absolutely a battle over a franchise that now, to me, that's the other thing, Jeff. This franchise now gets damaged too. Who's out here clamoring?
If you're Colleen Hoover, you're like, what the fuck?
Right. If I'm calling Hoover, I'm super pissed that this
She's the victim in all of this.
Yeah. Because I
don't know what because you would ask, I think, if she has any rights, right, to pull it out, right, to say, all right, we're walking.
No, but he owns everything. So, and I think this is what the battle is over. As I said, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, he is gonna up the ante until they finally hit a number that makes sense for him to settle, and then he's gonna surrender control of the franchise to Blake and say, you know what, she wants to go with it. Now I can take care of myself for the rest of my life off of this situation. the other element of this, as you said with Ryan, I think it's great you bring that up because Ryan was ensnared earlier this week with another lawsuit or another accusation from Brian Friedman and from Baldoni saying that the Nice Pool character in Deadpool was essentially a petty series of shots at Baldoni. And look, you can make the connections to some of the things. Yeah. And so now he's saying you got to retain all the information. Oh, sorry, all the communications Ryan had with Marvel and Disney overnight.
The element of it. And he's bringing in Iger, he's bringing in Feige. I'm telling you, the guy's going scorched earth.
Yes.
This is like an I don't give a fuck like move.
Yeah.
Which I guess you could be in that frame of mind the day you lose your home too.
Yeah, right. Because
Friedman lost his home that day. You know, it's horrible.
Yeah.
My heart goes out to him. And but yeah, that he filed it that day. So he may have been in a fucking fighting mood.
Yeah. And the lawsuit claims that this lawsuit, the one that
the new one,
that that Blake Lively and her people served everybody while they were in the evacuation mode.
House is burning down. Don't give a fuck. Here you go. You're served.
Yeah, yeah. Which is horrible. Imagine getting that as your house is burning down, dude. Oof.
People think I'm crazy. Like when I talk about this now, listen, there's a lot of good in this town, as you're seeing. You know, you're seeing people running all over, getting supplies. I mean, it really has been inspiring to see the way that this industry has come together, you know, as a community to help the less fortunate. But on the other hand, believe me, when the smoke fucking clears, it's back on. It's back to I need to, you know, I'm gonna do whatever I can to fuck my neighbor. To get ahead.
Yeah. It's a rough fucking town. It's a rough town. And this is, I think what you said earlier is a great point. Like, usually we don't see these things spell out into the public, not till years later and someone's doing a tell-all. But this is like right on. This is like you're literally like watching a watch-along of a movie outside of the movie happening. And it's like a reality show that you're watching right now. And every lawsuit is an episode because you're getting all this stuff coming out.
Right.
This is a losing battle for her at some point.
Lose for everybody. Nobody looks good. Even Reynolds and like using like this is, I mean, Deadpool and Wolverine was not a good movie. It's hilarious to me to see people try to defend it that it was, but like that's what he's gonna do. I'm gonna use Deadpool and the platform that Marvel gives me to fucking take shots at Justin Baldoni because he's fucking with my wife. Like, oh my god, how stupid is this?
This is what I'm saying. But this is hubris, isn't it? Because Ryan is feeling himself now. And I've spoken to a couple of people who have, let's just say, have had relations with Ryan or worked with Ryan. Not a good reputation behind the scenes, very much with some people. Same thing with Justin. Justin also, some people have spoken about behind the scenes from people that I know, not the best guy either. So
none of these people are angels.
That's what I'm saying. At the end of the day, it's not about choosing sides. It's about watching these people who are maybe not the best kind of people going at each other over a franchise. Who knew that this damn movie would be that important? I can see it if it was a Marvel franchise or a DC franchise, Jeff, or a Star Wars franchise. But this is like,
that shit is so easily forgotten, John. Those are not the movies that they show 100 years from now in the fucking reels. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know, that's why. And yeah, I just the fact that it's this movie of all movies, who gives?
And all this stuff is starting to come out now. You know, rumors about how ScarJo won't do anything with Blake Lively because there was rumors about them possibly having an affair before they were divorced. Like, there's all kinds of shit's coming out, and it's going to keep tainting Blake over and over and over again, who already is, I assume, not that well respected as an actress because she claimed in one of the text messages that they protect her when people keep discounting her, overlooking her for roles. I mean, that's a massive thing. So you look at the situation here. I think this is a woman who wants to be respected, fights to be respected, got into a situation here. But using the sexual assault thing, if that didn't happen and you're manipulating that, dude, that's so terrible to the people who are actually victims of sexual assault. It's a horrible thing to use. And I think that could mark her more than anything else off of this, man.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't think Justin Baldoni went on set to sexually harass her. Was he an inexperienced director who maybe crossed the line at times? And I guess you could say, well, crossing the line, isn't that sexual harassment? I guess, but
yeah, of course.
I think it's the same thing that you and I are used to hearing about in those cases, but it looks different. It looks different. I understand that.
Now, what about last thing? Now, I mean, Feige has to weigh in on this, doesn't he? Doesn't Feige have to call Ryan and be like,
would be like, this has nothing to do with me.
I would call him and be like, Ryan, did you really put this motherfucker in our film? For God's sake, settle this thing once and for all, like, because if you use us to put Nice Pool in the movie in order to bash this dude, don't do that with us ever again. Like, that's the call that I would make. Don't ever do that with us ever again.
It's irresponsible. It puts Disney in a bad legal position, by the way. And I mean, I don't know that he'll necessarily have control of another Marvel movie the way that he had over Deadpool and Wolverine. I mean, is Deadpool getting another solo movie? He may be in the Avengers. I have no idea, by the way. He may be in the Avengers movies, but like that's not going to be his show. So yeah, I don't know that he'll ever get that opportunity again.
Yeah. No, people are like, no, Feige has nothing to do with this. Yes, he does, because that movie was made under his watch. So Feige, in essence, is indirectly connected to all of this. And I think everyone's going to Ryan and being like, dude, settle this shit. Please, for the love of God, settle this shit. Be done with this. And I think Justin and Brian Freeman probably sense that, maybe through their own context, industry connections, and are like, let's keep up in the ante until we get to a massive number so that they'll pay it out and we'll be done with this. And you and your kids and your kids' kids don't need to work ever again, and you can feel comfortable. Because I think this is the end of his career, except for doing small indies, man. I don't imagine Justin will do much more after this.
I thought you were going to mention Tim Miller too.
Yeah, Tim Miller got ensnared in this one because they want all the communications with Tim Miller over him being kicked off of Deadpool 2. They want that to be brought in. So go ahead on that one, Jeff. That's crazy.
No, I just, it's my walking. They famously butted heads, I think, Tim Miller and Ryan Reynolds, which is why he wasn't asked back. I think there's a lot of people in the industry who butt heads with certain filmmakers. And who do you think wins that battle, guys?
It's always the bigger star. The
star's big enough.
Mm-hmm. I think it's like sports, Jeff. Like the indies are like college football, right? Everyone is there to try to do a good job, and they do it for the love of it. Once you get to the movie star big deal status, this is pro football. And a lot of times, if the coach isn't big enough, the diva receiver, the diva quarterback is going to get that coach fired. And if the coach is big enough, the coach is going to tell that diva receiver, that diva QB, or whoever to get in line, And so it's very similar to what you see here in a situation like this. This is a young coach who had two players brought in, but then all of a sudden all these other players and their friends' players are coming in, and now it's becoming a mess, and he just wants to extricate himself with a good financial windfall in the end. How long do you think this will be before they settle this thing, man? This can't go much farther, can it? Will this go to court?
Oh my God. How many more text messages are there to leak, really? If I were both sides, I just want the other side to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Right? Quickly as possible. And if that means that you have to shut the fuck up as well, seems like you'd have to be open to that. So I imagine that some sort of mutual non-disparagement thing will be struck, and there'll be some sort of monetary thing. And you're right. I don't know what the fuck is going to happen to those rights.
Yeah.
The fact is that people identified that movie with her. That's a Blake Lively movie.
Yeah.
And if they're going to see the sequel, they're probably going to want to see Blake Lively in it. They probably don't give a shit who directs it or who Baldoni. I haven't seen it. I probably should for the sake of
it's on Max. Yeah.
It's not interested.
I know. I've been trying to think about doing it as a reaction video, but I'm just not interested in watching it.
I need to be paid to see it.
The other side of it, though, one last thing is like, I think this is going to end the way it ends, and that is with him surrendering the rights to this thing. Like you said, people connect her to this franchise. The smart move for him is surrender it, get paid out, maybe get an EP credit going forward on any of the sequels, and then you're done. Like, you don't chime in, you don't say anything, just make your money and you move on, and you'll get paid a certain amount if the films do well. I think that's a smart move.
What good is holding on to the rights for spite?
Yeah.
Right. If you can't, especially if you're not going to get Blake Lively back, like you can't do anything with him, I guess. Then the rights become spites.
Right. Yes. Exactly.
Will it come down to Bob Iger stepping in, the great mediator, being like, this is what's going to fucking happen here. Kind of like De Niro. I mean, you're going to give him another chance. I'm sick of it. I feel like Iger is going to step in here and be like, listen, now you're clouding shit. My name's been dragged in here. This is what's going to happen. You're going to get this. You're going to get this. You guys aren't going to talk it to each other again. You're not going to talk about each other again.
Yeah.
And that's it.
But I hope this is an example for smaller filmmakers. Like, you can fight back. Document everything. Document everything. No matter how sweet you think the situation is, document everything, because there are text messages from their initial few weeks working together, and they are very fun and playful and caring and all this kind of stuff. And then it turns bad when she wants to take more and more control of the movie, throw out the composer who had finished the entire score to bring in her composers, her editors. So it becomes all crazy. So if any young filmmakers are listening to us or watching us, for the love of God, if you get into this position, document everything, because you never know. Even if you're working, even if you're working with your heroes, even more so, document everything, because they'll take advantage of you. You've got to be aware of that. Take care of yourself.
Which is sad. That you can't trust certain your creative collaborators. But we spent way too long on the story. Let's move on.
All right, let's move on. Let's talk about this story here. This is one we should hit on real quick. Ridley Scott revealed in a new interview with GQ magazine that his planned Bee Gees biopic at Paramount Pictures was set aside following some deal issues with the studio. This is what he said. The studio changed the goalposts. I said, you can't do that. They insisted. I said, well, I'm going to warn you. I'll walk because I will go on to the next movie. They didn't believe me, and I did. He does expect to find common ground with the studio and maybe start shooting sometime in September. And so he's moving Dog Stars up now. And he said, I was being asked to go too far. And I said, no, next. They didn't like my deal. So I said, I'll move on. I'm expensive, but I'm fucking good. There you go. Ridley, never lack for self-confidence, Ridley Scott. So, Jeff, your thoughts on these comments? Is this posturing? Is this maneuvering? What is all this?
First of all, I'm totally confused because that quote that you said that, they whatever, and then I did move on to the next movie.
Yeah.
I thought he was supposed to do Bee Gees a while ago. So I thought that was actually an old quote.
No.
A new quote, but talking about like his first attempt to make the Bee Gees.
Right. But then there's the other quote. I was being asked to go too far, and I said, no, next. They didn't like my deal. So I said, I'll move on. I'm expensive, but I'm fucking good. So
right. And he did. He moved on to something else.
Right. But this is saying that the deal's been put on hold for now, and that Dog Stars is being moved up. This is a current GQ interview.
I'm aware that he has said that Dog Stars is going in April. I don't know how that's possible, given Elordi's schedule with Wuthering Heights and Euphoria season 3.
Oh, you still
I'm not privy to certain things that Ridley Scott probably is.
Right.
But I'll tell you what I do know.
Okay.
I think you're going to agree with me on this, John.
Okay.
I do know that Harrison Ford was a star when he was cast in fucking Blade Runner. I have to say, Ridley Scott, God bless him, good filmmaker.
Yes.
Wouldn't necessarily believe every word out of his mouth.
Yes, I agree. He's a storyteller.
Yeah.
He likes to push, just like James Cameron, they like to present this image of unfuckability. Like, you can't fuck with me. I do what I want. La, 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 la. Now, Cameron, much more so because he makes billion-dollar movies. You can believe it that he has that. But with Ridley, I think it's a little more of the grandstanding. And I think that's, I agree with you 100% on that with Ridley. And I like it. I like when Ridley's opinionated, but he can go too far sometimes. Yeah. So do you think this will start in September? He's saying that the deal might be done and they'll be ready to go in September. Do you think they'll start shooting in September after it's already going to start shooting the other one in April? That doesn't make sense.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So the math ain't mathing. So, and who's going to star in this Bee Gees movie?
I mean, come on. If we're starting in September, that is what, 8 months away? And you're telling me you don't have the 3 guys lined up yet, and you're not checking schedules?
And four of Britain's top young, British actors or whatever, Britain's British actors are doing the Beatles.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you tell me how many people are getting a Bee Gees movie financed.
Exactly. That's a good point.
It's just fucking cast Sandberg and Justin Timberlake and do a feature length fucking.
No, don't. All right, let's move on. So, what do you anticipate? That we're going to see Dog Stars first, and then maybe. Do you think the Bee Gees movie is going to happen even with him?
I said last week I thought that the Bee Gees movie should be the priority.
Okay, it sounds like it isn't though.
Yeah, right. So maybe Lori's not in Euphoria much. It beats me.
Yeah,
nothing makes sense anymore.
I just think you think too much that's going to happen, and I don't think season 3 is ever going to happen. I just don't think it's going to happen.
Find out in the next few weeks. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I just don't think it's ever going to happen.
January 16th. Haven't heard anything yet. No, it's supposed to go later this month, or maybe it'll be next. Who knows with the fire?
It's not going to happen. I'm telling you. All right, let's move on to these other two stories before we take we don't take breaks, but maybe take a pause here. What about this idea of Deadline did a whole article talking about 2025 and the movies that are coming out here from Warner Brothers, and they mentioned that there might be a Gremlins and Goonies movie. Does this surprise you that they're going to follow up with a Gremlins and Goonies movie all these years later? Do you think it'll be a sequel? Do you think they'll bring back all the old people, a legacy sequel like we saw in Top Gun Maverick and Beetlejuice, do you think? And especially after the reception from Skeleton Crew, which has overall been very positive and Goonies inspired, do you think we'll be seeing a Goonies and Gremlins sequel soon?
Possibly even on the same day. Warner Brothers is going to create its own Groonies.
Groonies?
It's going to create its own Barbenheimer by releasing both movies on the same day. I think that these, as I wrote in my little advice for Warner Brothers column, these are layups. I don't know that both of them have to be legacy sequels. I don't really know what Zach Galligan, Galligan, right?
The kid,
from Gremlins,
right? Zach Galligan, yes,
Galligan, Zach Galligan. I don't know what him and Phoebe Cates really get you. Okay, whereas the Goonies, I think, still get you some juice.
I mean, Sean Astin and Josh Brolin get you juice.
If you go back to the original Goonies. So
right,
you could go use the same approach, just do the Beetlejuice is, just like every, but it doesn't, you don't need that for Gremlins. I think Gremlins could stand to be completely reinvented.
Yeah, and especially because the animated series that's come out, which Donna is EP.
Nobody watched that.
Yeah, nobody's and it's not getting good reviews overall on it. Yeah, so it's an interesting situation. I'd like to see it. They said Goonies never die. Well, let's see if they do it for a second.
John, that's exactly it. It's like you get the fucking trailer guy back. You AI his voice. You get the classic trailer guy. They say Goonies never die.
In a world. Yeah, all that stuff. Yeah, for sure. One more here before we jump into a bigger story. Rumors are bound, and I know you didn't want me to include this, but I'm going to include this. Rumors abound that Ariana Grande is being looked at for Drew Goddard's Matrix installment. How much should I put stock in this? How much should I not put stock in this?
John, I'm sorry. Can you repeat that? Because I forgot how to mute Slack. I don't know how to do that anymore. So I'm trying to avoid getting a little fucking beeps, but
okay. Ariana Grande.
Anyways, what was the question?
I'm asking you real quick. Do you think it's bullshit? Ariana Grande possibly rumored to be in Drew Goddard's The Matrix or being looked at to be in it. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I thought it was bullshit.
Yeah? So you don't think it's going to happen? No way.
No, I don't.
I mean, after Wicked and rumors about her being nominated, you don't think they would maybe look at her a little more seriously?
I think it's ridiculous. It's quite frankly, I have no idea what the take is.
Yeah, right.
Granted, so I could just be talking out of my ass. Maybe it's about a pop star. I don't know. A pop star who breaks up a perfectly good marriage.
Oh, hey!
Shots fired! No, we love Ariana Grande.
She's talented. But what about this Will Smith thing? That's all crap, right? It was connected to a release of his music, right? It's nothing to do with the Matrix, right? He was just playing around. Yeah,
I need a complete and total reinvention of the Matrix.
Yeah.
I need the Matrix through someone else's eyes.
Yeah.
I need no callbacks. I need no Easter eggs. Listen to me. Listen to me, Drew Goddard. I need no Easter eggs.
No Easter eggs. All right. All right, let's move on to a bigger story, Jeff. Let's move on to your story. Let's move on to your Apple story, man. Let's talk about this. You wanted to talk about it on the show, so let's get into it here. 2 projects are coming from Apple, one starring Taron Egerton, one starring Matthew McConaughey, both connected to fire-related stuff. One arsonist, one firefighter situation. So 2 separate movies here, but Apple has them coming possibly soon. Your thoughts? Why did you want to talk about this? And it was
I want to talk about it because it's like, am I the only person thinking about this stuff?
Okay.
Right. No one has mentioned this. Right?
Yes,
I haven't seen it. Having original thoughts, which are hard to come by these days. It's like, part of me felt it was a little too soon to ask the question.
Okay.
But I think that a lot of times after these tragedies, whether it's a fucking submarine sinking or God knows what else, right? Yeah. You see it all the time. Oh, this network is delaying this episode of this show because it too closely mirrors this tragedy.
Oh, yeah.
All that kind of stuff. So the first thing that came to mind with these wildfires is like what projects could be impacted.
Yeah.
And it just so happens that both projects are Apple projects. And to me, that's a story.
Okay.
Would have loved to have been able to call Apple about it, but anyways, the 2 projects are The Lost Bus from Paul Greengrass, which is Matthew McConaughey and America Ferrera.
Yeah.
And that's set, that's about the campfire.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And like 2 heroes who helped like evacuate kids to safety, which is a great story that should be told, but could also, potentially be very triggering. It's like, is that the story that we need in the next 9 months for award season or whatever? Or is it just a little too soon? The other one is Firebug, which is Taron Egerton and Journey Smollett, on the trail of 2 serial arsonists who may be like competing with each other in an attempt to like one up one another, which is also like sounds like a really cool show. But is that what people want to see? I don't know what kind of structures and things go up in flames and catch on fire, but like that might be a lot right now. So to me, Apple has some tricky decisions coming in its way. I'm the only what do you think, John? That's what I'm curious about. Forget what I think. What do you think? Am I crazy to like be sort of concerned or even make this an issue at this point?
No, I don't think you're crazy to be concerned about it. I think it's valid. Look, even Meghan Markle moved the release of her cooking show, which has nothing to do with fire, to like March or May in order to
fire.
Oh, well, sure, fair point. You do use fire to cook.
All right, guys. I'm trying to lighten the mood.
She moved it because she didn't want it to come out at the same time as the LA fires. But the thing is, man, LA deals with all kinds of drama and stress and all kinds of stuff that goes on. California deals with earthquakes, like we have a resiliency. I can say I've been on this coast now for 25 years. We have a resiliency. I've seen it in people. People are already bouncing back, just like you just did. People are already making jokes about what happened here. So what happened there, rather. So there is a strength within the ability to push forward. And the idea of putting these things in motion, it's about getting back to work. And that's really a symbol of that as well. That being said, I would not be surprised if they delay them. As you said, the subject matter is a little tricky. Or maybe they wait till things are a little more calm and then they start moving forward with this. But I do think that we'll eventually see the light on these things because I think they have a really big, strong belief in that McConaughey one is going to be possibly a contender for big awards with America Ferrera.
I mean, I looked at it as an awards contender. That's if it gets a theatrical release. I think it would get a qualifying release no matter what. I don't know if Apple actually planned to go wide with it or not.
Right.
But like, I really like McConaughey. I'm a big McConaughey fan. His last decade has been atrocious.
Yeah, it's been tough.
If you look at what he's done after like the McConaissance, where it was like Dallas Buyers Club, Wolf of Wall Street, True Detective, Interstellar, the last decade, I mean, I like The Gentleman, and he's had some animated hits like the Sing movies and Kubo. Everything else has not worked. Yeah. Literally everything else. Yeah. So he needs this. He needs this bad, and it would really suck for him I think if this was delayed another year,
Yeah.
this is sort of going to be positioned as like a comeback almost.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems like a lot. It seems like a lot.
Well, not just him, but also America Ferrera, right? I mean, it seems like a minute since that monologue in Barbie. And so, like, we're waiting.
Right. This was her reward, John. This was her like capitalizing on that. Like, okay, now you got a shot at another supporting actress nomination. You know, potentially actress. I don't know the size of the role if she's
right
as the co-lead. But you know, a big role in an Oscar contender from Paul Greengrass. So, yes, it would suck if this got delayed and like cost her momentum. I don't really think it's in any danger of being delayed, but I felt it was worth asking the question, letting Apple know that I know what's going on.
That's fair. That's fair. But I think what you said in your article too, I don't want to move past that without noting it, that there should be more films about firefighters, that the firefighter, as someone whose sister was a firefighter for a number of years, and she is married to a firefighter, that's my sister. You know, I've always respected firefighters. I had a few high school friends who became firefighters in my hometown. And so I've always had a lot of healthy respect for the danger of that and what they do. Rescue Me was one of my favorite shows, the Dennis Leary show, and how it profiled firefighters in New York after 9/11. And so I agree with you. I think there should be more because cops get so many movies and TV shows. Firefighters rarely. So we see the NBC ones, but like there's not a lot of them, Jeff. So I think it was fair to point that out in your article.
And I think you can mix it up too. I mean, obviously you want to see firefighters fighting fires and being heroic and stuff, but like there's cop comedies.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
There's, I mean, why couldn't you have a firefighter comedy or something? I don't know, something like that. My old roommate always used to tell a story. I'm not going to tell the whole story because I'll butcher the whole thing, but it was basically just like him and his firefighter buddy getting super drunk and like, you know, running a stop sign, getting pulled over by cops when the cops see it's a fireman. You know, it's just like you can't give that guy a ticket. Like fucking firefighters. You know, these guys are kings, as they should be. Because what they do is, I mean, you have to be crazy to do it. But God bless
100%. The chats are that's a great point to be how 26. Where's the Fire Country Love at? You're right. That's a big show on CBS/Paramount Plus.
A lot of shows though, right? There's Chicago Fire. It's become
FD. Yeah, that was a comedy one.
Television, I fear, and yet Fire to me is inherently big screen worthy.
Yeah.
How many movies we see like a giant fucking tidal wave come crashing down and shit like that, right? Water's just as scary and powerful and dangerous as fire. I just, to me, it's crazy that nothing even remotely challenges Backdraft, and that's a 35-year-old movie almost.
That's a good point. It's a good point. I don't love it as much as you do, but you can't argue that it's the best firefighter movie out there right now that has ever been out there. I think so.
You don't like? You're not a big Backdraft guy, John?
I like Backdraft. I just think the William Baldwin, Jennifer Jason Leigh stuff is a little bit like everything else. Though I like the battle with him and Kurt Russell, the twist with Scott Glenn. Though it's great, and the way it's filmed, and the De Niro stuff. The De Niro stuff is great, especially when you bring Donald Sutherland in.
Those are the romance. It's the romance. I understand.
The romance doesn't work. I mean, them on top of the fire truck. Come on now, cut it out. You can't do that. That's unhealthy. What about? Oh yeah. Someone asked me about Chuck and Larry. That's right. I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry. That's a firefighter movie, I guess.
That's the real Dana White. Thanks.
Hey. All right. Let's see what else we want to jump into here, Jeff. Oh yeah, let's jump into your other story here that you were proposing, and that is the Oscars being turned into a telethon or a charity night. Can you go into this a little bit more? You mentioned this in your newsletter. By the way, you guys subscribe to Jeff's newsletter at theinsnider.com. What is this? Why do you really think you trust the Oscars to pull off a telethon or a charity stream? What do you think? What's your basis for this?
Well, shout out Jamie on this one. But yeah, we came up with this idea about the telethon, and it was so good that I was like, you know, I had to be somewhere at noon. I was like, I got to get this fucking newsletter out by noon.
Yeah.
Because if I wait until tonight to put out that idea, someone's going to put it out. And 2 hours later, the Hollywood Reporter did put it out. Yeah, we were the first to suggest the telethon idea, which I think just makes sense. Like that harkens back to old classic show business, right? I think it draws awareness to the industry, the movies that are nominated, and the victims of the fire.
Right.
I don't know how to divvy up the funds and that kind of stuff, but if this show has a global audience, then let's fucking take advantage of it, and do some like cool stuff. And who knows, like, it's going to be a somewhat somber evening, especially given how many celebrities lost their homes and stuff like that. But the Hollywood Reporter in that piece like mentioned, should celebrities have to take someone who like just a regular person who lost their home? I don't know that it's like, we're going to parade these people around on television so much as like they could be offered the opportunity if like I think it's a cool gesture on the Academy's part. I don't know. It's tricky. How would you do it if they did decide to do something?
My initial reaction was to say no to this. The Oscars are the Oscars. But if you're going to do this, right? And I think it's open and fair to consider it. You got to walk a huge tightrope a very high tightrope, because how do you keep it from feeling exploitive? Because already you've got certain sections of the world, social media, what have you, who ridicule the fire because celebrities, they don't care about celebrities. All celebrities, they can get their money back, their houses back. They're trying to denigrate the loss, right? So, and people already have certain sections of the country already have a feeling about Hollywood. So you've got to strike the right tone throughout the entire event. And I think coming in with someone who's lost their home, I think that's absolutely a smart thing to do. You make it more interactive. And Jeff, let's be honest, what has the Oscars been complaining about? Ratings. I think a great way to bring ratings back is to do something like this.
Do something different, yes. Yeah.
The awards are given out, but there's also a real coming back to the foundation of the fact that the fact that these movies even exist are for people who are there to go see them. And it's important to get in touch with the moviegoers. And if they've lost homes, there's a way to make it all very interactive that is positive and uplifting. Yeah.
And I understand that some people think, LA's all celebrities and it's only the celebrities that lost their homes in the Palisades. Obviously, that's not true. We've seen the list of people who have lost their homes. And maybe there are a dozen, 2 dozen, 3 dozen, 4 dozen celebrities on these lists.
Right.
We're talking about hundreds and thousands of neighborhoods and homes that went up in smoke. Right. Yeah. So the celebrities make up a very, very small percentage of it. I think it would be interesting, actually, if the people that they brought were like just regular below the line folks, not nominated for anything. They're like, hey, this is a gaffer who was could barely pay off his mortgage before. Now he's fucked. Like, this is the face of who lost something. This money's not going to Tom Hanks. Right. Like this is going to the lifeblood of our community, the people who really need it. That's an interesting way to do it. Again, smarter minds than me can come up with who gets that money. But all we hear about, John, like you said, is the celebrities, or a lot of who we hear about is the celebrities, or at least pay attention to.
Yes.
And it'd be interesting to put a public face on that at the ceremony.
Yeah. And having Conan be the host, I think Conan could be the one guy that could really walk that line well with mixing humor and the realness of a situation like this. So it seems like they've got the right host already in place if they were to go that route. I don't know that they will, but I think this is something they should legitimately consider.
They're going to do something. I don't know if it's just going to be like we're doing the Oscars and then in the middle we're going to do a segment where then we do, a thing. I think it needs to be throughout the night.
Yes.
I don't think it can be let's hope that we catch audiences in the right 5 minutes.
Right.
And I really like my suggestion about Firefighters giving out Best Picture. I mean,
yeah, that's a great.
That's what everyone cares about. And these are the moments that go viral. Like, then take advantage of this. Get 5 hunky firefighters up there. It doesn't have to be all men either. There's women fighting these fires too.
Yes, 100%.
Do you put them in uniform, which I think is a great visual, or do you put some of these studly dudes in tuxedos? What do you do?
Yeah, I like the Mr. Poppy suggestion here. You bring back Billy Crystal. His home did burn down. I think Billy might be open to maybe running certain moments of the show to encourage people. Maybe you even have like a phone bank where celebrities are at a phone bank taking calls and people are calling in to donate and what have you. I think that would be great.
Auctioning off movie memorabilia. Like,
Sure,
dude,
sure.
here's fucking Tom Cruise's Top Gun jacket. We're going to go to commercial. Let the bidding begin. And the bidding ends in 3 minutes. See you in 3 minutes. We'll tell you who got it and for how much.
Right.
Like, who the fuck doesn't want to know that? How much did they pay and who got it?
You've won the jackets. Good job.
All kinds of shit. I mean, it's come on. Like, you got to think outside the box. It's all about whether the Academy and the producers of the show are willing to do it. And that's why they need someone fucking crazy like me. You need someone crazy. Bring back the crazy to this fucking town.
I don't know if you should be producing it. Maybe advising him.
I think I should.
I don't know. I think it's kind of crazy and dangerous. But, all right. Well, let's move off. Let's stay with the awards theme rather, and let's talk. You want to talk about the PGA and the ASC awards here? The Producer Guild of America announced their 2025 awards here, and their guild, their top prize is the Daryl F. Zanuck Award, Honora, which is coming out on Criterion. I can't wait to buy that one. The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, A Real Pain, September 5, The Substance, and Wicked were all nominated on the film side. On the TV side, you had Shogun, Diplomat, Fallout, Slow Horses, Bad Sisters. But let's focus on the film here because 12 of the past 15 Oscar Best Picture winners won the Zanuck Award. So there is a pattern of possibly picking the Best Picture here. So what are your thoughts on the nominations on both sides, the ASC noms as well here? What are your thoughts?
Well, I called it, folks. I mean, it's not yet. I mean, the nominations aren't until next week, but which we will react to that day, later that day, I believe. But the alphabet Oscars, A, B, C, D, E. That's right. They all got in, and I still think that this is the brutalest movie to lose. I think it's gaining momentum at just the right time. I think the release went well. I think that the fires, if any movie benefited from the fires, it's actually the Brutalist, which is a movie about architecture and building things that stand the test of time and things like that, and rebuilding and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I thought that Nickel Boys, I could have sworn all the critics said Nickel Boys was the best movie of the year, and then it didn't get a PGA nod or an ASC nod. Of course, I don't believe in the power of these precursors. I don't really think that they mean all that much, but it was notable.
Yes, for sure. And going back to what you said a few minutes ago, I don't know if I want to see 5 muscly firefighters give out the Best Picture to Emilia Perez. I don't know if that would work. I don't know if that's
going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think so either, but it's starting to really make a big threat to the Brutalist here, dude. So right now that's emerging as the film that's going to threaten the Brutalist with winning Best Picture. So
maybe you pair a celebrity with a firefighter for every fucking award, and you bring up 23 different firefighters.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know how you do it.
Yeah,
but it should be done in some capacity.
I agree. Well, what do you think wins here in the PGA? What do you think wins Best Picture or the Daryl Zanuck Award?
Wicked.
What? You really think so?
Yeah,
I think the Brutalist wins.
It made the most money.
No, I think the Brutalist wins. Come on,
give it. Yeah, well, whatever.
Come on.
I mean, I love the Brutalist.
You didn't love the Brutalist.
I did. I think it. I don't know with Wicked like that. There's so many ways it could have gone wrong. It went so right, like.
But there's still that middle part of the movie is still a little. But all right.
People have plenty of complaints about the Brutalist. I think the Brutalist is the better movie, but I don't think that's what the award is. What is? I think the
Brutalist is the best picture that no one is going to rewatch for years afterwards. I just think that's not what
produced movie though.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's a fair point. Still pulling off a 3-hour and 40-minute movie. I mean, that deserves a lot of credit. So we'll see. Let's move on to your Scream news, brother. Joe McHale coming in here to be the husband of Sydney here of Neve Campbell. It's not Detective Mark Kincaid, Jeff. Patrick Dempsey there from Scream 3. It is going to be Joel McHale. And also, Jasmine Savoy Brown is coming back to join her brother Mason Gooding to be back for this installment. So somehow they're mixing the previous stuff with the newer stuff and going forward with that. Your thoughts, Jeff, here. Do you like, are you texting? What's the deal?
No. So, but you just Scream. Yeah. I don't like. I saw someone like theorize that like Kevin Williamson is not a fan of Scream 3 and he wanted as few connections as possible to it, and that's why it's not Dempsey. I don't know if it was a contract thing with Dempsey, and it was like, listen, we're not. Spyglass is like, we're going to hold the line and not break the bank, and I'm sure
maybe
want to be compensated properly, but it's not going to happen. Just like they did with Nev Campbell, right, on the last movie.
Yeah, right.
I don't think that they wouldn't do that. And maybe the money that they saved in that switch, which, I think it would probably be negligible, but I have no idea. Maybe that went to bring back Jasmine Savoy Brown. I have no idea. Okay. Again, I can't stand these movies. You guys, I worship at the altar. You can see the fucking poster, but I worship at the altar of Scream is why I became a writer. These last two movies were abysmal.
Yeah.
I don't think Spyglass knows what it's doing. I pray that they know what they're doing in this time by hiring Kevin Williamson to come in and direct it, even though he's more of a writer than a director.
Yeah,
I will give him. I will give him the benefit of the doubt. I will give them the benefit of the doubt by bringing back Nev Campbell. But I don't care about the two of them. The two of the core four coming back and Joel McHale. I mean, why do you cast this guy if he's not the bad guy?
Right? Oh, interesting. You think it's a bit of a giveaway? All right.
I mean, unless he's just like an obvious red herring. He looks exactly like, Timothy Oliphant or something.
Right.
Like Mickey's brother. I don't fucking know. He looks exactly like him.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look at that face. That's an evil face if I ever saw it. Jeff Winger.
Mischievous motherfucker.
I know.
What do you think about this this conversation now, John, about what's his name, Mason Gooding and Jasmine Savoy Brown coming back, right, after saying we're gonna hold the line with Melissa Barrera and honor what she wants and all that? What do you think of that?
I think you can hold the line until you start to see how your career goes, and you're like, but I bet they maybe had conversations, and Melissa was like, look, you guys got to take care of yourselves, do what you got to do, book what you got to book, and look, she's got a movie coming out soon, so she's not hitting the heights that she did before, but she's certainly still working. So I think maybe they just realized, look, we want to come back. We'll work out a deal. Blah, blah. Melissa, you okay with this? And so I think that's what happened. Or they just went cutthroat, as you said. And we're like, look, it was a stand we took at the time, but look, we need to work. And this looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. And I don't want to miss out being in a Scream film directed by Kevin Williamson,
I think it may have been John Squires who I retweeted, but he had said something like, these two actors put a lot of time into this franchise and they shouldn't have to walk away just because Melissa Barrera is, stands with Palestine or whatever. Yeah. So it's a tricky issue, but I don't blame them for returning at all. I wouldn't be surprised if they were killed in the first scene. I actually think, I'm tired of like these randoms dying in the first scene. I need like someone who matters to die in the first scene. But I will say it is weird about McHale's character having the same name as Dempsey's character. Is that supposed to make us not think about it because it's still a mark, or like I'm very confused, and it seems very intentional.
Yeah, right. That's an odd decision. We'll see what it reveals, but we're on a bit of a run with McHale again. Right. I mean, he was kind of like the last we saw McHale a couple of years ago. He was hosting the Tiger King Netflix reunion special. Now he's got Animal Control going into the third season. He's been a notable part of The Bear every time he shows up, which I think he's fantastic in that. And he's going to be in Yellow Jackets in the third season of Yellow Jackets, and now in this and the Community movie coming. So McHale's on a bit of an upswing right now. And so maybe they're taking advantage of that. Joel's available. Let's do it. Joel's fun. He can do horror, or he can do drama. He can do comedy. He can do horror. So let's have fun with him. And it's a name. So why not? And I think Dempsey was like, I don't want to come back. I
mean, I wouldn't be surprised. He's probably like this whole fucking thing. He probably saw the last two movies and was like, I am good. Because we're again, don't forget Kevin Williamson. I'm sure he did a polish and everything. He did not write the script.
No, right, exactly.
It's the same writers as the other two.
Right.
Or it's only one of them. It may only be Guy Busick. Either way,
yeah,
inexcusable to for this franchise to be where it is in my mind. Inexcusable.
Yeah. Fair point. One last thing before we get into some tributes here, Jeff. Wolfman is coming out this weekend. Came out tonight. If you're in certain cities where it's coming out early tonight, I got a chance to see it on Tuesday night. You got a chance to see it as well. You wrote your review up in your newsletter. We disagree on this movie. I liked the movie, although I do think there are legitimate points to your criticism. It's not as good as The Invisible Man. I would have liked more time with the family before we head on out to the house so we can establish the relationships a bit more. But I don't agree with you on Julia Garner. I thought she was damn good in the movie.
That's where I won't budge. I could see you making an argument like, hey, I liked it. Like, I'm not going to get down on you for liking it, but like,
no.
Because I think I had it at a C+, and then I read David Poland's review right before I published, and I was like, yeah, David's right. Like, this is a fucking stinker. So like, yeah, I think I took it down from like a C+ to a C for some reason.
Wow.
But that's one thing I won't budge on is Garner. She was so bad in this. I was just sitting there like, what? Like, I didn't buy a fucking word out of her mouth. Not one word. I was like, I don't buy that you're a journalist. I don't buy that you are married to this guy or care about him. I don't buy that you love your daughter, but you're struggling because you're a shitty mother. Like, I just don't. None of it at all didn't work for me whatsoever.
Okay. I bought her in the limited screen time they gave her, and especially when things started to turn, I thought she was actually damn good as a mother trying to protect her child, dealing with all the stuff that she's dealing with, trying to figure things out. And the thing about the film, for those of you who are watching us, it happens over a 24-hour period. It is about a 90-minute film, hour and 40-minute film, but all over a 24-hour period. I thought the special effects of what it's like to become a Wolfman, I thought they did that really well in the film. I thought the makeup effects to make it a much more grounded turn rather than seeing like a snout appearing out of your face. I thought that was a nice like change, and the moodiness of it was there. But I do think where Lee maybe faltered is he kind of opened the door to the idea of these people who live out in the woods and disconnect from society as maybe being also kind of a horror type of situation or terror, but didn't go deeper into it, and presenting these issues with the family, but not spending more time seeing how those issues are affecting all three of them, her at school or him at his, in between jobs, her as a journalist trying to make it. I think we needed way more time with the family so that by the time we got to the house, we are much more invested to see these cracks get bigger because of what's happening to him.
I'm not loving these choices. I'm not loving the Wolfman, Fantastic Four. She's Silver Surfer, right?
Yes, she's going to Silver Surfer. Yeah.
Apartment 7A. I'm just not loving the choices. Sometimes you have to hold out for the good stuff, and not just take what's thrown your way. Again, I liked, like you said, the slow burn transformation, that it was a little bit more grounded. Didn't feel like it was just like some CGI like bullshit or whatever, but it ultimately just wasn't memorable enough. Like the final design, there wasn't nearly enough action. Like the body count in this, it needed a higher body count. Like, and it does feel like there's just a half hour missing, like on the cutting room floor, because it sets up all these different things. It doesn't fucking explore any of them. I thought it was very poorly written, quite frankly, and clunky. I'm not an Insidious guy either, and it felt again like the Further, like right with the wolf vision stuff.
Oh yeah.
I was like, I literally said to myself in my head, this reminds me of the Further from Insidious, and sure enough, it was co-written by the same guy. This movie was a missed opportunity. It's not terrible. It's like it does have some modest thrills, I thought, that are best seen on the big screen, but you can save your money and wait 3 weeks for VOD for sure. It's
probably it's going to be on VOD for sure.
For sure.
Someone said, Mr. Poppy is saying that Julia Garner did not pass Jeff's smell test. There were their performance there. So
she is in Weapons too, so I am excited.
Isn't she going to be Madonna? Isn't she Madonna in the biopic as well? If that ever happens,
yeah, she should be too. Yeah. I think she'd be great.
All right, let's hit a couple of tributes here, Jeff, before we wrap up with some trailers and get to your questions. Bob Uecker, star of Major League, but really bigger star of the Milwaukee Brewers as their broadcast man for 53 years, sadly passed at 90 years old here after a battle with cancer starting in 2023 that his wife talked about in the tribute. I mean, this is a guy, dude. Listen, from those beer commercials to Major League to being the voice of baseball, a guy who never took himself seriously, kind of like the Rodney Dangerfield of Major League Baseball. A very beloved guy. You never heard anything negative. And of course, Mr. Belvedere, for those of you who remember that show from the 80s. So what are your thoughts on Bob Uecker here, brother?
I always appreciated seeing Uecker in movies and television when he would pop up. He was obviously a great commentator, color guy, right? And I mean, for me, other than Major League, right, which is, I think, a perfect comedy, really underrated as a comedy.
Yeah.
I think about Artie Lang. Have you ever heard of Artie Lang stuff?
Artie Lang? Oh, the story he tells of Uecker. Yeah.
You know that story with the
coffee? Oh, yeah, I heard it. I watched it this morning on social media. Yeah.
So he does a great story with Uecker and like using the cough button. And it's, I mean, that's the first thing when you say Bob Uecker to me, that's what I think of because I'm a big Artie guy. And I saw a good Norm clip going around too.
Oh,
so he had a great sense of humor, Uecker, it sounds like.
Yeah. Real funny guy. And so ashamed to lose him, but 90 years is a good long time to be on this planet. And to be able to call baseball games for 53 years for your hometown ball club, Major League Ball Club, that's an amazing life. Honestly, an amazing life. Speaking of amazing lives, Jeff, we also have to talk about the passing of David Lynch, director, writer, producer, actor David Lynch, 78 years old, passing this morning. Kind of a shock, this one, I think, for a lot of people. Not that he'd been that prolific over the last few years, although I did enjoy his Netflix shorts and him interrogating that monkey. I thought that was a hilarious one. But I'm not the biggest David Lynch guy. I do like some of his stuff, but not all of his stuff. What are your thoughts here as we say goodbye to a really a master filmmaker and a guy who did a TV show that will forever be a legacy in the world of TV?
Well, obviously, he is one of the greats, right? The man's a genius to many, and I certainly respected his work. Right? I wasn't a big fan of it. That's all.
Okay.
I've only seen half of his movies.
Okay.
So I've seen 5 of the 10 movies, but I understand what people got out of them and why he was revered by so many. On a personal level, he just seemed like the nicest guy with those weather reports and everything. He really understood how to use social media. He was big into transcendental meditation, right? He's obviously going to be voiced a voice that is missed in the movie landscape.
Yeah, a lot of people delivering some wonderful tributes, including Steven Spielberg, talking about working with him as John Ford in The Fabelmans and what it was like to, direct one of your heroes, playing one of your heroes, and what that experience was like. But also, a lot of people stepping forward. Nicolas Cage issued a statement as well, having done Wild at Heart, one of my favorite David Lynch films. Yeah, I mean, it's The Elephant Man, Wild at Heart, The Straight Story, and Inland Empire. Those are the films I liked. I never was a Twin Peaks guy. It was a little too way out there for me. I never was a Blue Velvet guy. I never was Mulholland Drive or Lost Highway type of person. But certainly a lot of people revere and love David Lynch. And the fact that he was able to push the medium of TV and film in certain ways and attract people while pushing the medium, I think that's a rare thing to do. So the fact that he was able to do it deserves all kinds of credit and love. And certainly for a lot of you who do love him, you'll miss him greatly, I'm sure.
Blue Velvet was my favorite for sure.
Which one?
Blue Velvet.
Yeah, Blue Velvet. Yeah. Because, I mean, that's you, right? Mommy. That's totally it. Oh, so good. Jeff, you got to talk to me about this. You want to talk about this Alto Nights trailer? What do you want to talk about?
Should we spare Warner Brothers?
I mean, this looked horrific. What is Deborah Messing doing playing a wife of a mobster?
I didn't even realize that was her. What is Zaslav thinking?
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah.
What is this guy doing? This was the first thing. This is like the De Niro as Two Gangsters, Irresistible. This is a fucking hit. What decade are you living in?
They're like, from the guy that brought you these movies from 3 to 4 decades ago, here is Alto Nights.
Super cheeseball. No one gives a shit who the fuck Frank Costello and Vito Genovese is. Like, what the fuck? A horrible title, by the way. One of the all-time horrible titles.
Alto Nights. Yeah, I love De Niro. And he looks good in the trailer, but the trailer itself does not look good. And this looks like, what was that one? Oh, God, Gangster Squad. This looks like it's in the Gangster Squad territory, the Sean Penn Brolin one, which was horrific.
You could defend that because you had like fucking Penn and Brolin and Gosling and like a hot young cast, like
Emma Stone.
This is a movie like I knew that something was like immediately wrong when it was like from the director of Bugsy. It was like, what? No one knows who the fuck Bugsy is. They think it's about Bugs Bunny.
Yeah, it's a couple of decades late.
What the fuck?
Good film, though. I mean, Warren Beatty, that's a good film. Ben Kingsley, I like that film. But yes, it's 3 decades old.
That shit.
Yeah. Also, if you got Deborah Messing and Catherine Narducci, no offense, but that's not top of the line feature film talent.
That's my girl, Kat Narducci. She's she's an old friend, but
she's a good actress, but like she's not putting butts in seats. So, all right. What about this? Did you like the monkey trailer? This one, dude, I really like this trailer. It had the right mixture of humor and horror. I don't know if it's going to be a good movie, but I like this trailer. What do you think, Jeff, as a horror aficionado? Did you like this?
Looks awesome. Now, granted, again, I said this on Twitter. Neon did this once before with a movie called Long Legs from the same director, and they made it look awesome, and it wasn't. But this, I mean, unless there's some like stupid supernatural twist at the end of this one too.
Yeah.
I think I know what I'm getting into as far as like the supernatural elements here, and it looks fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I immediately wanted to watch this after the trailer was done. You know, sometimes this kind of horror can unsettle me, and I don't know if I want to put myself through it. After this trailer was done, I was like, fuck it. I'm going to endure whatever I need to endure to watch this movie because this looks like a lot of fun. A good mixture, again, of the humor and the horror throughout. Did you get to see the Until Dawn trailer at all? I didn't have that. Yeah. What did you think of that one? Did you like that one? Or was it kind of cheese?
I mean, it was in-betweener, you know? It's like probably something I'll catch up with on VOD, like I did Tarot and, you know, some other horror movies. But although now I'm an AMC A-list member, so maybe I'll do whatever the fuck I
want. Yes, of course. The world is your oyster, buddy. The world is your oyster.
Yeah. I mean, if I had to like pay full freight for it, I'd probably just wait a few weeks.
Okay. All right. Anything more we need to touch on before we get to the questions? We're at an hour and 10 into the show. So do you want to just hit the questions or what are you feeling?
Give me those fucking questions.
All right, let's get it. Shabanabish says, will Kung Fury or the Toxic Avenger ever release?
Yes. Yeah. These movies are worth more out there than sitting on a shelf. So I do think that they will eventually find a buyer, even if it ends up being, you know, a smaller company. I mean, there's plenty of small distributors that I think would love to have these movies. It's just a matter of how much they cost.
Yeah, agreed. Love that Avatar flooded again. Oh, Jesus. Wow. Dennis Hoffman says, Jeff, got any news on Sebastian Stan developing Reckless from Brubaker and Phillips? Really enjoyed the series.
No, had we heard of this? I don't even know about that.
It's been a bit since we heard that this was being developed. So, yeah, I don't know anything about it.
I don't even know what Reckless is. So I'll have to look into that. But that sounds interesting. Love Sebastian Stan. He's on a roll.
He is, right? Yeah. James D. Michelle says, hey, John and Jeff, if Brave and the Bold goes through, who would you think would be a great director? Robert Eggers, Denis Villeneuve, David Ayer, George Miller, etc. Ooh. I don't think you'll get that level of director to do this. Do you think, Jeff? I mean, if they even go with this Batman, I don't think you're attracting any of these four guys.
I have no idea. If Brave and the Bold goes through, who would make a great director? I'll tell you. A guy who was supposed to make a Batman movie a while ago.
Okay.
Mr. Hot off of Austin Butler's Caught Stealing, Darren Aronofsky.
Oh, that's a great name. Wow. If you did Batman Brave and the Bold, Darren Aronofsky, this is not going to have tongue-in-the-cheek humor. This is going to be a much more darker approach. I kind of like that idea, actually. Fought Fire. Thank you, Fought. Appreciate that. Levin Schlager says, hey, Jeff, have you heard the new about Star Wars? Have you heard shit about new Star Wars? Anything?
It is going to. No, let me see. I actually may have a little tidbit I can share. Guys, go to something else for now.
All right. Media left. Jeff says, hey, Jeff, any chance that there's something new with Clayface? Are they nearing a director?
I mean, you'd assume they'd have to be nearing a deal with the director if it's going soon, but I have not heard a fucking thing.
Okay. Keep checking out your Star Wars stuff. Kaiser says, can you tell us anything about the new PTA film? Yes, it might be good.
It might be bad too. I mean, I think it's going to come out this year. I don't know that it'll keep that summer release. I don't understand why it needs IMAX screens. Like, does it really need the IMAX screens to make up its budget? If so, that's concerning. And maybe 2026 release is better in that case. But if this is an awards contender, how do you not release it this fall?
Yeah. All right. Ewok says, this is petty high school stuff from Blake and Ryan. Nothing worse than powerful bullies picking on the little guy. I'm glad Justin isn't backing down. Yeah, I'm also glad he isn't backing down, but I don't know if Justin is necessarily a little guy. Maybe in comparison to Blake and Ryan, but it seems to be if you're getting Brian Freeman to be on your team, you've got some pull. So, you find your Star Wars thing?
I did.
Okay.
I'm just reading. Keep going. I'm reading what is worth saying.
Thank you, Seth, with a wonderful donation here. No question. Just want to show you guys some love. Never usually get the chance to watch you live as I work third shift. I'm sleeping, but you guys help me through my boring ass job. Keep up the good work. Thanks, Seth. Well, keep up the good work, you brother, man, for working that hard. A third shift, bro.
Dude,
respect, man.
Yeah, exactly. Way to tough it out and hang in there.
We honor and love the blue collar workers of our world. So much love to you, Seth. It's not an easy life. I know. Wiley OFC says, John, what's up, Wiley? John just watched Selena for the first time. I would love to hear your thoughts on it since I know you enjoyed the movie. Yeah, Selena's a great film. Certainly announcing J-Lo, Edward James Olmos, one of the last gasps of him as a theatrical star. And I think that it didn't shy away from the stuff that was going on with that family and the fractures that were happening as she was becoming famous. And then it's really sad with the way they profile her death. But this is a hungry J-Lo. This is a J-Lo that wants to be successful. So you're getting that edgier performance from her that has a real complexity to it. So yeah, that's what I would say about that film. Did you ever see Selena, Jeff?
Of course I've seen Selena. Anything for Selena. She stares into my soul.
God. See, you do that, and that means I can do a Jewish accent down the road. I think
what is a Jewish accent?
You just did a Latino accent. So,
did I?
Yes, you did. Stop playing. Don't even play, man.
I can't say anything for Selena?
Yes, look at it. Listen.
That's pretty good. Anything for Selena?
Come on.
I'm not allowed to say that?
Selena.
That's out of love. See, that we've confused what racism is.
I didn't say it was racism.
I know, but I'm totally thinking it.
No, I'm just saying I can do the
accent. What is a Jewish? Wait, now I have to hear.
No way am I doing that. No
Please give it to me.
way. No way. Buddy, never mind. All right, Robert Giacinta says, recently watched Grindhouse and was thinking, who would you two choose to direct another installment? Mine are Craig Zoller and Damien Leone. Oh, good choices. I thought Grindhouse was unfairly vilified, Jeff. I enjoyed the hell out of that experience. 3 hours in the theater. Yeah, those two movies, maybe not the best from either of them in terms of installments in their career, but I still enjoyed it. And those trailers were great connective tissue. So I would have loved, I went back like twice to see Grindhouse. So who would you choose
I
to
kind of
do?
love those two picks. I mean, those are kind of inspired right now. I mean, you know who might be good and could maybe even get a finance in place of Zoller, because I don't know how much heat Zoller has, but like Damien Leone has heat. And who else has similar heat for doing similarly gross shit?
The Substance director?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You got it, Johnny. Coralie.
I'd like to see that.
Farger.
Yeah.
That's my French accent. That's all my French.
She has a nice combo of humor and horror. So, yeah, absolutely. I'd be down with that. Jmail 843 says, heard Amazon is forcing Chris Hemsworth to be the next Bond, and Ian is like, hell no. Eon wants a fresh approach with Henry Golding, hence the stalemate. What? Where are you hearing that, Jeff? Is any of that past your smell test?
No, it doesn't. What?
There's no way.
How old? He's like 40 something, right?
Yeah, there's no way Amazon wants Chris Hemsworth as the next
Henry
Bond.
Golding.
Yeah.
No, bro.
No. All right.
By the way, wait. Let's go to Johnny Steven. Right. Go to that comment here.
Which one?
I know he didn't pay, but sometimes I like highlighting.
Jeffrey, shut your face.
Sometimes I say things like, "Nobody's seen this. Nobody's seen that." Obviously, someone somewhere has fucking seen it. So when I say nobody cares about a Frank Costello thing, that's called hyperbole, Johnny Steven. So I'm glad that you're looking forward to this. I speak for the larger public when I say we don't care about a Frank Costello or Vito Genovese movie.
Yeah. I know who Frank Costello is because I'm old enough to know who Frank Costello was, and I know who Vito Genovese is because I used to be into huge mafia stuff. That being said, I don't need De Niro playing both roles. That seems odd on so many levels, and I don't know if that's going to work overall. Every actor has the hubris to want to play against themselves, but should you? I don't know. Rashad Green, says, wanted to say I admire how you two are able to go from heated arguments to laughter without letting the tension affect the show or your friendship. That's East Coast boys, right?
Rashad, if you say so, 6 o'clock comes. I don't talk to Rocha till next Thursday. I want to hear from this fucking guy.
That's totally fair. P. Parker 2288 says, just catching the show now. Do you think this lawsuit will affect Reynolds' likable image? Also, Sneider, Patriots for life, best Schmodown team ever. Oh man, I don't know about that.
I mean, I do think it kind of affects his image a little, which is why we were saying he has the most to lose. And it's like, if I were him, I'd want to shut this down real quick because it's his career that is going to be affected by association almost.
Tough though, man. When your wife wants to go through with something, and that's
you got to stand there.
Yeah, you got to. All right, there you go. David Lynch, Matt Sinister McCall. Good to see you, brother. He says, favorite David Lynch film, Love Eraserhead, R.I.P. Probably The Straight Story is my favorite, which is ironically his least wacky one.
I've never seen The Straight Story. That's one of the ones I've never seen.
If you're down at any point in the next few weeks and you find The Straight Story, it'll uplift your spirits. It's a really good film, man.
I thought I had seen it when I was a teenager, but I think there's something with a similar title that I saw instead. I don't know.
Pete Parker 2288 says, only the Brave is a great underrated firefighter film. Also, I really enjoyed Those Who Wish Me Dead. Oh, the Jolie one.
It was okay. Yeah. The last one, but Only the Brave is good. It's just, it's fucking grim.
That's on Max. Those Who Wish Me Dead. Only the Brave is good. I like that. Miles Teller and Brolin. Yeah. Heartbreaking ending. Alan Smith, he says, Jeff, can't wait for the new Hollywood ambassadors to fix our broken industry. Sly, Mad Max, and John Voight will rein in all you left-wing deviants and baby blood drinkers. Roseanne will be added for diversity's sake. Yeah, dude. It's the dumbest thing in the world. For those of you who don't know, Donald Trump announced that John Voight, Mel Gibson, and Sylvester Stallone will be his new ambassadors of Hollywood. And since this is something that's legitimately happening in the entertainment world, we can put aside that letter from a couple of weeks ago and comment on it. And I think is that these guys haven't sold a movie or put butts in seats in years, buddy, decades with John Voight. So this is just, crazy old white man selecting other crazy old white men to be their ambassadors of Hollywood. It's nonsense, Jeff.
Oh, we all know the real president is Elon Musk anyways. So these are just the new three musketeers.
Oh, well done. Well done. I like that. Yes, Stallone has to be.
Let me ask you, has Stallone and Mel ever done a movie together?
I think they were in Expendables. Yeah, Expendables 2 or 3. Yeah, 3. Expendables 3. He was the villain in Expendables 3. And this was when Mel was trying to redeem his image after those voicemails and the drunken. Yeah.
They should team up and do
it. Was a good movie. It was
Mel
a good movie.
Will be a fucking villain on Tulsa King.
Yeah. I mean, who was just the villain in season 2? Frank Grillo. Frank Grillo was damn good in Tulsa King.
And Mel Gibson's a villain in Frank Grillo movies.
So. Yeah. I was actually watching Dragged Across Concrete yesterday. Dude, that's a 2 hour and 30-minute movie. It's a little rough to get through. Elusive Rock, that's what you do in a town where yellow light still means slow down, not go faster. R.I.P. David Lynch. Respect, Elusive. Thank you for that. Haunted_Autumn says, I love the auction idea, but Tom Cruise can't sell the Top Gun jacket. It's the prize at the end of the Scientology rainbow. Love you.
He puts it on Elrond's just like light being when he gets up to Xenu or whatever the fuck.
Mad Sinister McCall, who's your favorite TV villain? Some of mine are Joffrey, Homelander, Gus, Trinity, Vecna, and Stringer Bell. Any TV villains that piss you off? Yeah.
There's only one TV villain who scares me.
Go ahead.
He has bright red hair. His name is Sideshow Bob.
Oh. Yeah, sure. I mean, what's Game of Thrones, right? Joffrey, and then the guy who came after Joffrey, who Sansa fed to the dogs. Yeah, there are a bunch of TV villains that I don't like. Yeah, let me think about it. Anyway, Yanks, Banana Jeff, anything you can share about the secret Sacha Baron Cohen project? Existing character, something new? Thanks, boys, for the show.
I don't know anything, Yanks. Thank you for calling me Banana Jeff, guys. I was on Let's Make a Deal today.
You were today?
I was.
I gotta watch it.
I didn't know. My dad called me. He's like, I just happened to be watching Let's Make a Deal, and I got you. But yes, I appeared today, and I cannot share anything about Sacha Baron Cohen's movie. I don't know anything. I would share it if I did know, but I suspect we'll find out something soon.
Oh, there you go. Joel Davis, any Star Wars leaks? Yeah, Star Wars. What's your Star Wars news? Did you say it yet or no?
All right. Star Wars people, go fucking relax.
Hey.
I mean, I don't know what's out there. So like if I'm like playing this up like it's a big thing and you're gonna be like, oh, Daniel tweeted this 3 weeks ago. I mean, I can't fucking, I don't know. I don't care. Sigourney Weaver in Mandalorian and Grogu is only in a few scenes.
Oh.
Apparently she plays a colonel named Bishop in the New Republic.
Oh, the irony. Because Bishop was the name of the droid in the second Aliens movie. So
throwback.
Interesting.
Callback. Yeah, but
so only a few scenes like Carrie Ann Moss in The Acolyte, like only a little bit of time with her.
A colonel named Bishop in the New Republic.
Okay.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah. Well, the time where it's set, the New Republic is the big deal in the galaxy.
Let me see if there's anything else. I'm not going to say that. Oh, wait. Did we talk about Favreau last week?
We did not. No. What's the deal
2
with
weeks
Favreau?
ago, like him like not being around? Didn't we have that conversation?
Oh yeah, we did. That he was directing. People were accusing him of directing from another location, and that he wasn't on set. But you said it was during he had COVID or something. You said.
Yeah, exactly. This source, yes, he had COVID for a few weeks. He did direct remotely. Yeah. Kim Richards, the first AD, Peter Ramsey, the second unit director, and Dave Filoni picked up the slack. Yeah. Typical drama like any other show, but nothing out of the ordinary, I was told.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, Seth W says, one of the upcoming movies I'm looking forward to the most is Mike Flanagan's The Life of Chuck. Have either of you seen it? And if not, what have you heard about it? I have not seen it. Jeff, did you get a chance to see anything early there in LA?
I have not seen The Life of Chuck. I missed it in Toronto.
Okay.
Which is a bummer. But I'm looking forward to it. I've heard cool things from people I trust, even though I'm kind of mixed on Flanagan's output in general.
Oh, not a fan of his series? House of Usher or anything?
Series aren't for me. It's not like I really gave him much of a chance. But
okay. All right, yeah. Okay, let's move on. Mike Joyce says, I'll be sad to see Stu and Joel McHale. Hashtag Stu lives. Oh, there you go.
Oh, or is Joel McHale Stu's brother?
The plot.
His older brother who was in college when Stu was in high school.
Good to see you, Goopy G. Goopy G says, rest in peace to the King, David Lynch. Jeff, where the hell is...
That's the question.
Jamojaya. I watched it at Sundance and it vanished. Did they just throw it away?
I mean, last week that I'd heard Justin Chon was working on a new cut of it. I don't understand. It's fantastic. It was my favorite movie of last year or 2023. Sorry. I have no idea what the fuck is going on with it. I hope that it doesn't disappear because it's special.
Okay. All right. There you go. Stephen Turner says, has Jeff heard anything about Cynthia Erivo as Storm? Some people suggest she being considered because she wants it. I hate that casting. Also, I hope they don't make Storm much older than the other X-Men. Jeff, what have you heard?
I don't know. I have. I mean, yes, I'd heard Cynthia Erivo.
She's manifesting it.
Yeah, I heard that there was actual interest, but as far as her being older than that, I don't know how that works. Does it matter if Storm is older? Like, I mean, who is supposed to be the leader of the X-Men?
It depends. It could be Storm. It could be Jean Grey. It could be Cyclops. It depends on how they want to go about it. It's not going to
be. No, I think some of those, those characters are going to be younger. I have no idea. I don't know that she's not somebody who I sort of independently heard, or maybe I did. I don't fucking remember.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if it's Cynthia Erivo because of where they want to go.
In my back pocket for someone that I've heard for X-Men. I'm not saying who it is yet.
You're not going to say who it is? Okay. All right. Kai says Avatar 3 box office predictions. 7 in IMAX was life-changing. Better Man was incredible. Yeah, Better Man. Jeff, you were talking about the newsletter. I'm still only 15 minutes into the movie. I got to watch it over the next few days here. But you said it's fun and good. It just, but not surprised about the box office returns.
It's great. It's really good. I totally suggest that you go to see Better Man. It's one of the top 20 movies I saw last year. Or I saw it at the first week of this year, but I counted it.
There you go.
I backdated that one. Yeah, I didn't really know much about Robbie Williams. I wasn't really familiar with his music. It doesn't really matter. I think you can totally go and enjoy it without any of that.
Yeah.
The problem that I was just saying from an industry's perspective is if someone pitched me, I don't care really, as long as it costs more than $25 million, if you pitch me a Robbie Williams biopic with a CGI monkey,
yeah,
I will say no.
Oh, okay. There you go. All right.
It's great that the movie's fantastic and all, but this is a business. I don't change my stance on that. It's a horrible business decision.
Right. I agree with that.
What?
They misstated. I agree with you. They misstated their belief that Robert Williams was big in the States. Millennium was a good
anywhere.
Yeah, well, he's big globally. He is big globally. He's just not big in the States.
If he was big globally, then they wouldn't give a shit about the domestic gross, and they'd say we didn't make this movie for America. We did it based on international projections.
I don't know if he has released in other places. So I don't know.
Listen, if this movie makes its fucking money back, I will eat a shoe. Okay.
Okay.
No one gives a fuck about a Robbie Williams biopic starring a monkey. I don't care how good I say it is.
It's such a shame because it's the guy who directed, Greatest Showman, which supremely overperformed.
Clearly a talented director. I mean, to make a Robbie Williams biopic starring a monkey be as compelling as it is, my hat's off to him.
And he made it he's the one that suggested the monkey idea to Robbie. Robbie was not a fan of it initially, but then came around on it.
I'll put it this way. If it's not a monkey, then it's just a Robbie Williams biopic and there's no hook at all. And it's just some actor, probably some young Brit
playing him.
If they got lucky, maybe it's a thing, but more than likely it's Sam Riley in Control, which is an amazing performance.
Right.
The Joy Division movie, but nobody gives a shit.
God, I love that movie, man. Nobody saw that movie.
I always go right to Sam Riley as Ian Curtis is an amazing performance.
Dude.
He's just a guy playing him,
Yeah. I thought, him and Samantha Morton and I forget the German actress from Downfall. They all that film, and then Joe Anderson. That film is fucking so good. I saw it again the other day. Great black and white biopic, man. So Better Man is right now at 12 million worldwide. So it has made 10 million overseas, but only 1.4 million here. 10.5 million overseas. So yeah, I guess it's been released in some places, but yeah. I don't know how much they spent.
Someone's complaining they can't hear you.
Who? You can hear me.
I can hear you.
Yeah. So. All right. So Anthony Belcher was any news rumor actor for the X-Men reboot. Jeff said he can't say it, so we'll move on from
I'd rather not say at this stage. But yes, I've heard a name of an interest.
John Ashford says, "Good day, all. Outlaw, have you seen The Escape from New York? Seen? Oh, God damn it, John. I'm sorry. Yes, you DM me. I will watch it. I promise. I'm sorry. That's just Joe. Parker Finn for Clayface. Loved both Smile films. Ooh, Jeff?
I think it would be wise of him to do something in between, Smile 3. If they're going to proceed with Smile 3, I think he should try to sneak something else in before then. It doesn't sound like that's going to be that Robert Pattinson movie that he was developing. Right. So I think that'd be a great call.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Carver Tate says, I'm particularly loving Jeff's vibe tonight. He's being especially funny. I agree. Much love and stay safe. P.S. Jeff, help me to convince Brooke that he should start an Amazon wish list. Who's Brooke?
I have
Maybe he's trying to say Rocha, because Carver was asking me that the other night on my live show to start a wish list.
Rocha, start an Amazon wish list.
I will. I feel weird asking people for anything. I'm very weird like that. But thank you, Carver. I will do it. DUI Champ says, Jeff, I agree with your reason why the Robbie Williams movie crashed. I follow Brit Media since Count Duckula. My man Cave has Robert Smith and Morrissey picks, but I've never heard of that fucker. Bullshit, DUI Champ. I knew Robbie Williams back in 98. I studied in London for 6 months in 98. Robbie Williams' Millennium was huge in 98. Then Angels, then Rock DJ a couple of years later. Robbie is big to a certain section of the fandom, but probably not the emoji Robert Smith Morrissey fuckers. You guys aren't going to lean over to a pop guy from a boy band. So I'm not surprised you don't know who he is. Jeff, your thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about this.
Oh, it sounds good. Carver,
what about,
just
to back it up, that Brave and the Bold question. I said Darren Aronofsky.
All right.
Just throw something out there.
Sure. Okay. Running out of liquid here. Go ahead. Yes.
Dev Patel is Batman.
Ooh, I love that.
M. Night Shyamalan directs.
Holy shit. No. I give you the guy who did Triple R. Bring him over and have him direct Dev Patel in a Batman Brave and the Bold. Shyamalan's too long in the tooth to do a Brave and the Bold. So I would say the guy who did Triple R. That's who you want to bring over if you want to go the Indian route. That's my suggestion. But I like the Dev Patel. That's a great one, dude.
There's another update in the Baldoni Lively stuff.
Ooh, bring it.
It was Blake Lively accuses Justin Baldoni of abuser playbook tactics.
Of course.
She has responded to the lawsuit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's all.
Jesus, just settle. You're not going to win this.
There was a note at the bottom of a Deadline story recently, right? And it was like, clearly someone on Team Baldoni likes dealing with Variety. Like, we couldn't get a hold of Team Baldoni for comment, and clearly they like dealing with Variety instead. Now Deadline is clearly, being the Blake and Ryan side.
Yeah. Right.
And so you watch Variety will counter with fucking something from Baldoni's side, and it's just like these trades being used by different sources. It's hilarious. Now, I'm available to be used. Use away.
And here's the irony: Penske owns them both. So what does it fucking matter?
It doesn't. Exactly. That's the whole thing. That's
he's doing it to make you guys click on these articles, and both of them are benefiting and him in the end.
Here's another wait before we get to Carver Tate. The Triple R guy, John.
Yes.
What movie did you suggest him for?
You said Batman Brave and the Bold. And I was like, I like him for that, directing Dev Patel.
Now, that's a big assignment, though. Batman from Triple R, we're going to give you Batman.
Have you seen Triple R? It's a massive movie.
You know what would be cool?
Who?
His Lobo movie starring Jason Momoa.
Ooh. I'm on board with this. I like the combo. Interesting cultural combo. I'm down.
Think about that.
I'm down. The sad truth is that
when is James Gunn going to give us jobs?
I know. Well, as soon as we stop, exposing him and down talking him, maybe he'll give us jobs. Carver Tate says, surely meant to type convince Rocha, not convince Brooke. There you go. We figured that out. Thank you, Carver, though. Appreciate it, brother. Mr. Poppy, good luck to your Commanders, Rocha, because I want Ben Johnson as the Bears coach. Hey, look, we're playing with house money. If we even are remotely competitive in this game against Detroit, I'll be happy. But I don't anticipate us winning at all. That's a good team. And Detroit is hungry to go to a Super Bowl. So I can't imagine they'll win. But it'll be fun. Jeff, who you got pretty good? You think Commanders? Or you think Lions? What do you got?
I mean, I think that at some point, Daniels, and being a rookie, has to catch up to him.
Right.
But he has shown tremendous poise, and he is unbelievable. I mean, holy shit, I wish we had him.
Oh, dude. Oh no, Drake is going to be fine for you guys.
He's good.
Yes, Drake.
I still maintain the last sentence.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I mean, we saw what happened with Bo Nix in Buffalo. It catches up to you. Yeah, the rookie stuff. Jamela Jokes is surprised he didn't add Gary Busey as ambassador. Probably doesn't even know who Gary Busey is. Kaiser Soza says, I don't think Sadie Sink is attractive enough for her gene to make a love triangle with Cyclops and Wolverine believable. She gives off nerd energy. Kaiser, you're a fucking moron. I mean, she is.
That is dumb.
Beautiful. You're so insane. Kaiser, show me what you're pulling to even say that Sadie Sink is not attractive enough.
Gives off nerd energy. What is Jean Grey? Isn't Jean Grey a little nerdy?
Yes, kind of. Yes, but she's been drawn in a way that's much more classic supermodel sexual type of approach.
Nerds can be sexy.
Yeah, of course. That's such nonsense.
I mean, Sadie Sink's playing nerd energy on Stranger Things as a teenager, but you know, give it a few years when she bought, come on.
No, get on her Instagram. She's well into her 20s. She's quite attractive. So don't look at the Stranger Things stuff. She's supposed to be looking a certain way. Look at Millie Bobby Brown outside of Stranger Things. So, come on, cut it out, y'all. RLC Comics says, Jeff, do you think that animated Batman Beyond film you reported on a while ago will ever come out?
What animated Batman Beyond film?
Did you report on it?
Did I say something like that? I don't even remember. I have no idea.
So ridiculous. All right. So you don't remember it? Let's move on.
I cannot remember. Sorry.
Steven Turner says, I want to clarify.
It's funny. It's funny, John. A studio publicist once said to me about Mike Fleming at Deadline.
Yeah.
Mike Fleming has forgotten more about this industry than you'll ever know. and it got me pissed at the time. And only now, as a 40-year-old, do I realize that they were correct.
Oh, wow. Fair
I have forgotten more about this industry than a lot of people will ever know.
Of course. That's how it always works, right? Like, we may hate Aaron Rodgers, but he has forgotten more about playing quarterback than a lot of these young guys will ever know.
I have no idea what I said or didn't say.
Okay.
I can barely remember what I had to eat this morning.
That's true. Steven Turner says, clarify, a lot of comic book fans don't like the idea of Storm as much older because her and Jean referred to as sisters and worried about the mommy stereotype. Well, you're going way deep.
What the fuck?
I don't know.
What the fuck? If Storm is a 35-year-old woman,
wait, he's saying mammy stereotype.
Mammy's
fucking go with the wind?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. How is a 35-year-old woman? How would she fit the mammy stereotype?
What
the fuck?
That makes no
sense. From Steven. And why are her and Jean referred to as sisters? They're obviously not, right?
No, they're not. No.
What?
That's weird.
Next S.
All right. We're moving on to the next one. Where is it? Brick Studman says, haven't heard much buzz for the Amateur in April, but it looks solid to me. Thoughts?
Agreed.
Huh? Agreed?
Agreed.
Yeah. That's the Rami Malek one, right?
Yes. I think it looks cool.
I think it looks awesome. I agree with you. Yeah. And good new trailer for Love Hurts. I thought the Ki Kwan thing looked like a lot of fun. Like a Saturday afternoon fun movie.
Which would you rather see, though? That or Hard Eyes?
Oh.
What
Hard Eyes, I guess.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm talking over you. What did you think I was saying, and what was your answer to the question?
I thought you said Hard Eyes. What's Hard Eyes? I don't know.
Hard Eyes, yes, the slasher movie that comes out the same day.
Oh no, I'd rather go see the Ki Kwan.
Okay, I'd rather go see Hard Eyes.
Right, fair. So Al Black says support, and then Lemmy Ward. Thank you, Al Black, and Lemmy Ward says, "Hi boys, what is your number one prediction for this year with relation to the movie industry?" Jeff, what's your number one prediction?
Sergeant Rock will go into production this fall, starring Daniel Craig. Look at my bald head, Jesus Christ! and it will come out around Memorial Day.
I think someone will shock us and come out and become a star that we didn't see coming, and by that I mean like someone who's been doing smaller stuff, and then all of a sudden there's a star-making turn in some movie this year that nobody expected, and we're all going to be like, I never saw them this way. I never saw them.
Hey, broken. That happens every year. that's how you get predictions to come true. You keep them as vague as possible.
Of course. Come on.
I predict there will be a movie
that
is hugely successful and makes a star out of its lead actor.
that you never saw coming. Julius Weiss has finally watched Emilia Perez, and yikes, that wasn't it. Yeah, I'm kind of turning on this movie a little bit. Jeff, I don't know about you.
I think it's fine. I never thought it was any great shakes anyways. I'm not turning on it because people didn't like it or people say it doesn't represent Mexico. It doesn't represent trans people the way I want it to. Like, I don't buy into any of that stuff. It was always okay.
Yeah. By the way, this is who Kaiser Soze thinks can't possibly be in a love triangle.
I just find it weird to discuss her like this because to me, she's still like a teenager in my head, even though I know she's in her 20s. Like, she's a teenager in my head. So, yeah.
But I'm only pushing back to say that, she can absolutely. She's a young woman who could totally be in a triangle. I got
to get to Turkey. Let's get the Jeff Goes to Turkey fund.
You go to Turkey? What are you going to Turkey for? Oh my God!
To get that hair transplant.
Oh, that's a fair point. All right, we got some Streamlabs.
Take my ass hair and staple it in my forehead, bro.
Let's knock these out and then we'll get out of here. Davey says Daniel RPK said Doctor Strange 3 and Shang-Chi 2 will film next year. Isn't Cret directing Spider-Man until 2026 anyway? And also, what's going on with Raimi's Send Help with Rachel McAdams? Haven't heard anything about it. Maybe Raimi's doing Doctor Strange 3 first. Yeah, Jeff, have you heard anything on these two movies?
No, I don't think he's doing that first. I think he's doing the McAdams movie. And I think, what was the first part of it?
Daniel RPK said Doctor Strange 3 and Shang-Chi 2 will film next year. But isn't Creighton doing Spider-Man 2026?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be pretty surprised. I mean, unless Destin is either handing the reins off, to someone else for Shang-Chi 2, or
yes.
Or he's doing Shang-Chi 2 and someone else is doing Spider-Man 4.
Hey! Oh, boy.
You never know. You never know.
They're rewriting the whole script, so choosing a new director wouldn't be necessarily that shocking.
I don't know. I'm not saying that.
We'll see. Angel Fax says, just got out of the last Showgirl. If the movie had a bigger marketing push, do you see Dave Bautista snagging a Best Supporting Actor nomination? I thought he was pretty good. Yeah.
He is pretty good. He's the best thing about the movie, along with Jamie Lee Curtis. I know that she's being predicted for an Oscar nomination, which is fucking wild right now. At least she was good. At least, I mean, Bautista was really good in it. Pam Anderson, come on.
No, I hope that doesn't happen. Because someone really deserving is going to be left out.
Jamie Lee Curtis was good.
Right.
She is good.
As I said, though, Bautista is the one. Of all the wrestlers turned actors, I've said this for years, Bautista will be the one to win an Oscar before it's all over. I just have a feeling.
Did you see that? It was some fucking interview, some quote. I don't know if it was recent or something, but he was talking about an actor who could do anything. And he said, this actor, I'm forgetting who it was, but he said, this actor, that guy, he can do anything. And that's what he hopes to be, how he wants to be described years down the line.
Yep. That guy understands the craft. He took acting classes. He studied the craft. He didn't jump into it to become a movie star. The man has put his time in, and it comes through. Fellow actors watch him, and we know the difference, right? And so you can see he's got much more soul, no offense, than Dwayne Johnson.
Lee Pace, that's right. Thank you, John.
Lee Pace said that about it. Oh, nice.
That's who was talking about. It was a casting director who said, Lee Pace, he can do anything.
Yep. Yeah. He can. Lee can. Hello, Johnny. Deadline reported that the Russo brothers came back to direct Avengers 5 and 6, but they're also being brought into the fold at Marvel Studios on, quote, various fronts. What does that mean? Maybe helping on the producing side on additional movies? Yeah, Jeff, what do you think? Are they going to start becoming like these overlords under Feige who are making sure everything's...
Russos? Yeah, I mean, it did seem like that when they signed that big deal. It felt like they were going to have a little bit more control outside of the movies that they directed.
Yeah, that's a good point. What is this? Oh, hold on. So there is a question. I want to make sure I look up the person. Interesting. Okay, so the villain from the Iron Man movie will be reprising his role here in the Vision series. Yeah, what's that? What do you think about that? Firon Tahir.
I have no thoughts. I'm not going to end up watching the Vision series.
How would that work? I mean, because time-wise, all right. He said, anything new you guys heard about the show? Any talent attached, or is Terry Matalas still the only one attached so far? That was from Hello Johnny.
This is which show?
Vision. The
Haven't heard.
video show. Okay. Mr. Torrance says, hey guys, what's your top 3 Tarantino films? Mine are Reservoir, True Romance. He didn't direct it, but it still counts. No, it doesn't. And Pulp Fiction. Thanks.
No, it doesn't.
You're asking what are the top 3 written Tarantino films, then it counts. If you're asking what are the Tarantino films, it doesn't count. Tony Scott directed True Romance.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tricky because then then you can pull in NBK and all kinds of stuff. Top 3 movies, it's the first 3, isn't it?
Pulp Fiction, Reservoir, and then
Jackie
Brown for you. I would say probably True. I would say Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, which is and Kill Bill. Those are my favorite. The Kill Bill, both of them combined, which are now out in 4K, by the way, for the first time ever. But $30 each one. Come on.
Watch Jackie Brown at the top of the year. It's amazing.
Yeah, Jackie's a great dialogue film for sure. Anthony V, Happy New Year. Stay safe and healthy in California. Same to you, Anthony. What do you guys think about the early positive box office tracking numbers for Captain America 4? I am cautiously optimistic and just want memorable and fun Marvel movies again in 2025. Well, it's only 80 to 95, and it was released that it's an hour and 58 minutes this week, Jeff. So that's the shortest of all the Captain America movies. So does this bode well?
What are we talking about?
Captain America 4.
Is it too long or too short? What's the question?
Okay, the question is, what do you guys think about the early positive box office tracking numbers for Captain America 4? I don't think 80 to 95 is necessarily positive. I think it's right around the C plus B minus level or B level.
I think it's pretty good. I think it's pretty good for an Anthony Mackie led number 4.
Oh, all right. Fair.
Evans and everything. I think it's in the right. It's where it needs to be right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And Alan says, Justin filing that notice to Disney and Ryan and Deadpool made me lose respect for him. Even if what he's alleging is true, you can't sue for being their inspiration, having a joke at your expense. Think about how many lawsuits every ex in LA would file. Well,
I mean, he's right. That person's right. It's like, it did seem like he had kind of a thin skin, Baldoni.
Yeah.
It's like they're using a $1 billion blockbuster to bully me. I mean, I'm sure that doesn't feel very good, but yeah, is there a legal case there? I don't know.
Yeah.
I've lost respect for both these people, though. Like, I think that's totally fair.
Fair point. It's more a matter of how they do. I mean, people use my shit from my shows all the time on their stuff, so you have to understand that's part of YouTube and that's the game. But if they had used his image, that's a different conversation, right? And so that's where it starts to become a thing. But they didn't. They were referencing possibly, but not in a way that anybody would know other than maybe Justin and the people who know him, which is like, what, 20 people? So Doug Developer says, hi, guys. Do you think there is a line artists can cross when criticizing other artists' work? Even if it's terrible, I think Bo DeMayo's shitting on What If is a dick move. It's like Liam Gallagher from Oasis always saying Coldplay makes awful music.
In general, I mean, I think the good rule of thumb is like, yeah, if you want to continue working in this town, you're probably going to want to keep those criticisms to yourself. But if you don't give a fuck and or you're above the fray or whatever, then have at it. I mean, it's not cool, and I think you should expect to get it twice as bad on your next project.
Yeah.
But everyone's entitled to opinion, including creatives. And again, when everyone says, "Oh, this new film, it's my best film. This new film, most personal film in my career," where they go to their friend's premiere and say, "I loved it. You were amazing."
Yeah.
It's not necessarily the truth.
It's true. I think it's different in this Bo DeMayo situation because there's a lot of moving pieces that he is attached to. So it's more a matter of a commentary about what they did to his second season of his show. So I can understand how he might be pissed off and shit on Matthew Chauncey because maybe he knows what they've done to change what he was going to do in season 2. So I think it's a different situation. Someone just randomly, an artist randomly going after some, I think that's where it becomes much more of a dick move. This is more of a I'm angry and I'm upset because I'm hurt about what's happening here type of move. But I get your point, Doug. Mike McKenzie says, hey, gents, have you guys played Cinna to Nerdle? It's Wordle with movie puzzles. Stupid name, but it's fun. No, I haven't.
Cinna Turtle? Is it
Cinna to Nerdle? Yeah. Shit, I'm going to put that on my phone right now.
Shadow Me!
Shadow
I haven't played it, but thanks for putting it on our radar.
Yeah, no shit. I need a new game. One last one. Doug Developer, happy you have found your quarterback, Rocha, but keep in mind, Rick Meyer was also the second overall pick, had better stats than Drew Bledsoe, and is now hailed as the fourth biggest bust according to the NFL Network. Rick Meyer never played as good as Jaden Daniels did in any of his games ever in the history of his time in the NFL. That's not even a remotely correlative thing with Rick Meyer. Plus, he was coming out of Notre Dame, not known as a quarterback factory. And he was, 5 foot tall, Rick Meyer? Like, it's not even a conversation. Jaden is a much more better prepared quarterback mentally and emotionally coming in. And all those fourth quarter drives to win games 7 times this season, that shows an ice and veins type of approach that rare quarterbacks have. So, just throwing that out there. But I appreciate it. You're shitting on it, Doug, because you're a Jets fan and you don't know what it's like to have a good quarterback. Haunted_Autumn says, Amelia Perez is the next Crash. God help us.
God help us. Not a great movie. Guys, Crash is a fucking fantastic movie. I don't stand for Crash shit talking. Green Book is an amazing movie as well. There's a reason these movies won Best Picture, because an academy full of white professionals, largely white professionals, said that they were great. I sat behind Al Sharpton watching Crash and watched as Al Sharpton cried. So don't tell me it's a bad movie because a bunch of film critics on Twitter said so.
There you go. Wow. All right. Fair point. Justin Toner.
I want to hear what you think.
What do you want to know? What do you want to know?
Crash is a great movie.
No, it is not a great movie. No. Sandra Bullock is miscast. Brendan Fraser is miscast.
All that stuff is bad. I'll that's the weak spot.
And it can't be a great movie.
Weak spot. Like just like a fucking critic. You went right to the weak spot.
Well, because you said it's a great movie, so I have to.
It'd still be a great movie with a weak spot.
No, it can't. That doesn't exist. It can be a good movie, a very good movie, but it can't be a great movie with a weak spot. That doesn't make sense. But I like the stuff with Ryan Philippe. I actually like the stuff with Ryan Philippe.
Oh, that shit's incredible.
And I like the stuff with the father and the daughter and the gun. That broke me in the theater. I remember just crying my face off at that scene where the gun doesn't go off with Michael Pena. That was amazing.
Still breaks me.
Yes. The ludicrous stuff is good. The conversations they're having. The Matt Dillon stuff is troubling, but like it's almost like a cousin to Billboards, 3 Billboards, Sam Rockwell's character in 3 Billboards. You can make a correlation to those two characters. So it's all about how you present it. Yeah.
Where she is saved by her own rapist. I mean, that is a fucking incredible scene. There's never been a scene like that.
It challenges you for sure. Yeah. But I'll never go with you on Green Book. I think that film is trash. Justin Toner says, hey guys, RIP to David Lynch and Mr. Baseball Bob Uecker. Enjoyed Mr. Belvedere, Major League, and his WrestleMania appearances. That's right. Growing up, that's right. Uecker got Tombstone by Kane, I think. So, yeah, that's right. Seth W., what have you heard about The Electric State? The Russos really haven't had a great film outside the MCU. True. And Netflix movies tend to be kind of weak. I think it does look fun, but Netflix spends too much on non-theatrical movies. Yeah, Steve, Jeff, have you heard anything on Electric State?
I really haven't heard much. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it actually looks better than I thought it would.
Agreed.
You're right. It was very expensive, and I don't know if that makes sense anymore.
Yeah, true. I haven't heard anything, but I don't get the Netflix stuff early, so I haven't had a chance to watch it. But I do want to see it for sure. Michael says, just re-upped my Sneider subscription. Looking forward to a new year of scoops. What do you think of Joel McHale joining Scream 7? Oh.
Yeah. Thank you, Michael, for re-upping. We did talk about that earlier in the show. But yeah, I'm of two minds. I think kind of Joel McHale denotes a little cheapness to me. But
money-wise, all right, fair.
I don't mind him. I don't think he's like a bad actor. I just don't think he's as good as Patrick Dempsey. Yeah. They're saying in the chat, though, that in Scream 5, they said that Sydney's married to a Mark.
Oh.
His name is Mark because it fits canon. They didn't say that she's actually married to the detective that Dempsey played. So, yeah.
Yeah, gotcha. All right. Let's see here. NLSFC96. Good to see you again. Says, is it me or do I feel like Dune 2 will get no love with the Academy? Feel like other awards bodies don't like it. So fucking true. It's my favorite film of 2024. And The disrespect on that movie is just utterly mind-boggling, especially for something like Emilia Perez, which is not even in conversation in comparison to Dune Part 2. It's crazy to me that this film is getting no love. And Denis, once again, will probably not get a nomination for Best Director. He certainly won't win. And it is just confounding to me on so many levels, Jeff. Does this all make sense to you, or do you think that the Dune Part 2 deserves more love?
It deserves more love, and it's going to get love. So when everyone's like, Dune 2 is not going to get any love. Why? Because some Oscar pundit said so? I think it'll be just fine. I'm not worried about it. Denis may get screwed. It's kind of the nature of what happens when there's 5.
Yeah.
But it's going to get Best Picture nominations. I think it's going to get a writing nomination. It's going to get all the below-the-line nominations that you think it's going to get, although the score I don't think is eligible.
Right.
Yeah, I wouldn't sweat it, and it's guaranteed. I think at least like 2 Oscars.
Okay. Yeah, I hope so, man. I'd like a Best Picture nom. That would be nice for that fucking movie because it's so good. C Black says, Jeff, any breaking news on MCU movies? Yeah, Jeff, reveal it all. Any breaking news here?
For $2.
$2, yeah.
I don't. I'm trying to think if I have any like little nuggies. No.
Okay. All right. There you go.
Well,
That's
I've been asking, obviously. I mean, the only thing that you've been asking sources this last week, are you alive? Are you okay?
Yeah, it's true. Most
like,
people.
hey, what are you hearing?
Yeah.
What are you hearing? No, like it doesn't work like that.
All right, that's all the questions. Anything more? We're at 2 hours, so is there anything more you want to bring up, or are we good to wrap up here, Jeff? Any other subject you want to tackle here?
I got shit to do, baby.
Ditto. All right. Well, there you go. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us for this episode of the Hot Mic. Appreciate all the questions and all the super chats and Streamlabs. Thank you for the lively chat as well. And remember, we are a podcast feed as well. If you haven't listened to us on a podcast format, you can do so. Take us with you wherever you go here. And Jeff, please let people know where they can find you and where they can subscribe to your newsletter, buddy.
theinsnider.com. And yeah, I do think that now today the dam sort of broke as far as news, and I think you're going to start to see the news cycle get back to normal, and I will be able to have those conversations now with sources, so things are going to pick up soon.
Yeah, good stuff. See, there you go, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, so sign up to his newsletter for sure. And as for us here, please remember to subscribe to the channel down below. Hit that bell button. Leave your thoughts on all the comments that we made about all the different subjects we talked about. Give me a couple hours to put timestamps, because I got to eat some dinner, for God's sakes. But I will definitely put that up. And as I said, our podcast feed, don't forget, please subscribe. We want to get sponsors on the podcast feed. Please subscribe in larger numbers for that so it can make it happen. Thank you so much, wherever you download podcasts. All right, take care of yourselves. Be well, and we'll talk to you next time with another brand new episode of the Hot Mic. Peace.